going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Quincy Bell Sports. I have a video. Sam's idea that we think you baseball fans out there are going to like. You already know by the title. This is going to be 5 MLB teams that we think are going to shock the world and surprise us next year. Now, we were thinking we could collectively come up with 5 teams, but Sam had a better idea. We each came up with our own list of 5 teams that we think are going to shock the world next year in the baseball world. So, like a team that maybe was a wild card team this year, but we think they're going to surprise and go a lot farther. Or, say, a team that was barely on the edge of the playoffs and didn't quite make it. Or, a team that didn't make the playoffs altogether and we think can make a very surprise run. So, I think without further ado, we are going to start with Tyler. And we haven't seen any of each other's lists. Like, we made these lists, but we haven't seen what anybody else has put. So, Tyler, we're going to go from 5. Each team gets a number 1 through 5. 5 is, like, least faith in. Mm-hmm. 1 is most faith in. Tyler, who's your number 5 team?
My number 5 team are the Detroit Tigers. Laugh all you want.
I would love to hear this.
Number 5 is my least.
I would love to hear this.
Alright. So, I'm not on the AL side of much of an NL guy, but I chose the Detroit Tigers because... Why are you laughing?
Because you picked the Tigers!
Yeah.
Continue.
Anyway, so I chose the Tigers because I feel like with the prospects they have and how they could make, not like a playoff run, like, oh my god, here's your World Series title right now with your prospects. Like, this is going to be a very prospect-heavy video. You realize that, right?
That is kind of true.
That's all one of my teams is based off.
Like, with Miggy, Miggy's going to retire, what? A couple years from now?
Maybe this year. After this year.
Maybe after this
he
year.
Might not even
Prospects and Mickey is your number 5 team.
No. He's not going to do much, but I'm just saying.
Nick Castellanos is good.
Yeah, Nick Castellanos is pretty good, unless he gets traded. Anyway, they have some of the best. They had the number 1 pick this year, which they chose a pitcher.
Casey Mize.
Yeah, Casey Mize. If he's MLB ready,
he's probably not going to.
Not for a couple years, at least.
He could come late in this year.
He could come in, but that's probably going to be one we have already decided whether they're going to be in the playoffs or not. But who's your number 4 team?
All right, so number 4 team are the Washington Nationals. With some of the offseason moves they have made, Patrick Corbin. I think they re-signed Sean Doolittle. Harper talks, I don't know about that for sure. But they signed a lot of pitchers, which was their number 1 need, was pitching. Like, the hitting's what they needed to, but pitching was a serious thing. And losing Gio Gonzalez to the Brewers before the postseason last year was a big loss for them. So with their return of Patrick Corbin, I feel like that could help to spark this rotation with Strasburg and Scherzer. And some of the bullpen moves they got with Doolittle leading the charge with the closer, I feel like the Nationals could make a little run here.
Quick question. If the Nationals re-sign Harper, are they winning the division?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
If they don't re-sign Harper.
If they don't re-sign Harper, they're going to...
I would have picked the Nationals, but I think people can understand already that they're going to contend.
All right.
Yeah.
Number 3 team.
The New York Mets. That was
pretty...
Kind of an obvious one, kind of not. They got one of the best
I love Brandon Nimmo. Because he was my favorite teammate when I was drafted to the Mets in MLB The Show. Continue.
Great point. Oh!
I'm sorry, can I not bring it? Oh, we got a fight here.
We'll have to cut this out.
Wait, we're watching hockey, but continue.
Anyway, so the Mets. They got the closer from the Mariners, Edwin Diaz, and Robinson Cano, second baseman. Those were 2 big pickups. Later in the offseason.
Love the Diaz trade. Love the Diaz.
Later in the offseason, they get a catcher in Wilson Ramos, which puts maybe Darno as a backup because
Darno was awful, dude.
Because they shipped out Kevin Plawecki to Cleveland.
So bad. All right, so I can see what you're saying with those all new signings. Who's your number 2 team?
You're probably gonna laugh at this one too, but I think the Angels. call me. I don't care. This one.
I think Simmons and Trout are your entire. Who are they gonna have pitch?
Ohtani, if he's healthy, he's not gonna pitch actually.
He's not gonna pitch, but that's what is his first year. He can always come back with a second year too. They've got the hitting. We know that. Upton, Trout, Simmons, Ohtani, maybe Calhoun if he's healthy.
Calhoun's just a defender.
Calhoun's a defensive wizard.
But he will hit the ball if
the
he
thing
gets
about
his pitch.
The thing about Calhoun is he's a defensive wizard, and he's not even the best defensive player on that team.
Yeah.
John Newton Simmons.
Yeah, definitely.
So, all right, I like that. I can see.
And they
that.
also got a new closer in Cody Allen, which could help spark that bullpen a little bit more.
It's just starting pitching is where I have
Yeah.
my worries. They got Ohtani, and that's it.
Yeah.
All right,
Matt
Number
Tyler,
one.
who is your number one sleeper team for this year?
The Tampa Bay Rays.
I like that. I like that a lot.
I would have put
They-
them if they
I like
didn't
it a
win
lot.
90 games last
I like
year.
that a lot.
They were a couple points out of the postseason for back-to-back years, I believe it was. They did lose Shisei Krohn to the Twins, but I feel like that won't help them, kill them that much. I feel like the pitching could use a little bit more help, but the hitting is there.
Blake Snell.
But they have Snell.
Blake Snell.
That's your big key right there. That could help lead that charge. But they need some bullpen. I feel like they could pick up more important pieces for the offseason.
Bullpen pieces are easy to get in the
Yeah.
offseason.
Yeah.
All right, so Tyler, your list went number 5 Tigers, number 4 Nationals, number 3 Mets, number 2 Angels, number 1 Rays. Not a bad list. I will say, I'll give y'all a little spoiler. I only have one of these teams on my list.
I think I know who it is.
I only have one of those teams on my list.
All right.
So you're gonna get some variety here.
Sam's next.
Sam is next. He claims he knows baseball more than any of us. So Sam, who's your number 5 team?
I have the Pittsburgh Pirates at number 5. They finished about 500, but they went on a good roll to end the season.
They went like 10-1 over one stretch of the season,
Yeah.
didn't they?
If you can get Chris Archer to pitch like he did in 2015, he can be one of the best pitchers in the league.
I don't deny that.
Mm-mm.
But how are you going to do that? I don't know.
Polanco, he's a great player. Marte,
Great
he's
player.
good
Great player.
too.
So is Dickerson.
Dickerson might be the best out of the 3.
Probably.
Hitting wise, not a.
I would have put the Pirates in my list, except you can make the argument the NL Central is going to be the best division
That's
in
no
baseball.
It's gonna be
That's-
up there.
You can make that.
I would have the Pirates up higher if it wasn't for that.
Okay, quick little question for you two. Who will finish better, the Pirates or the Reds?
Reds.
I'm going to say the Reds.
The Reds.
I think the Pirates will.
Really?
I think the Pirates
Why?
will finish ahead of the Reds. For the exact reason Sam said.
Just the outfield alone?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got Josh Bell too. He's a solid hitter.
He is
That's
a
what
solid
you-
hitter. All right, Sam, who is your next team?
I have at number 4 the Toronto Blue Jays.
I thought about putting them in my list, and I pulled it back at the last second just because you have the Red Sox and the Rays and the Yankees. I almost put them in
Poor
there.
Royals.
If Vladimir
Poor
Guerrero
Orioles.
is what people say he's gonna be, he
That
can
was the reason.
become.
That was the reason.
He might be the future of this league.
He could be as good as his father.
He could be better.
That'll take a couple years.
I did an article about him for TSJ 101 Sports, and I had to look up some of his highlights. That dude's he was a monster in AAA Buffalo.
They've got some good rookie starters too.
They've
He
got-
was a monster.
If they can get,
in AAA Buffalo.
do they still have Aaron Sanchez?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He used to be really good. If he can
That-
get pitched the way he was a couple
Mhm.
years ago, he's great. Stroman's good as he is.
They could call up Ryan Baraki, get them with that this hole. And they also have that Sam. I don't know if it's
They have a
Gavin,
second
you know,
baseman that's
something like
really that's
Yeah.
like the 12th
If-
ranked prospect.
If we could stretch this to 6 teams instead of 5, the Blue Jays would have been my 6th
Yeah.
team. All right. So who is your next team?
Cincinnati Reds.
Oh, that's why you said the Reds would go ahead of the Pirates, because
Yeah.
you got the Reds up here. Okay.
The
that. I should put
Reds,
them.
they need pitching, but their hitting might be good enough to do it. They might have arguably the best infield in the league. Suarez, Jeanette, Votto. It doesn't get much better than that. And then the outfield, they'll have Puig and Kemp. Those are 2 reliable
With Winker.
outfielders.
With Winker, he's
Yeah,
on the Rays,
Winker's
too.
just going to get better.
Didn't Billy Hamilton get traded?
He's on the
Yeah.
Royals. He signed
He's
with
on
them.
the Royals.
He signed with them.
But
They lost Duvall too.
Puig,
Think
one
if
of the best
the
defenders
think if
in
the
game.
Royals could have had Terrence Gore, Gerard Dyson, and Billy Hamilton. That's 3 guys with 99 speed, and that would be the show.
They have a shortstop in the minors. I can't remember his name. Nick Senzel, I think his name is.
Yeah, he's good.
They're
And,
probably gonna-
and
No, he's on the Reds.
Scooter Jeanette,
That's what I'm
just
saying.
very good. Who's your
yeah.
number 2 team?
Those, what is it? New York Mets. I think people only think Edwin Diaz is the best thing the Mets got out of that trade. I personally
Brandon Nimmo!
have an obsession with Robinson Cano. I think he has my favorite swing I've ever seen.
He's got a nice
He's
one.
getting kind of old, though.
Yeah.
He's getting kind of old, but he's a reliable player. Steroids, they might help you hit the ball hard, but they don't help you hit the ball more often. And that's why I have them at number 2. But
Alright.
they're reliable outfield.
Who is your number 1 team?
This should be interesting.
The Colorado Rockies.
Wow.
I think Kyle Freeland, I think he's a top 5 pitcher in the National League.
We saw him play in the NL wildcard game against the Cubs when Sam and I went.
I watched that game.
I have never seen a worse hitting performance in my life. Granted, that's because the Cubs couldn't hit worth a damn in that game. But I think a lot of that has to go to Kyle
Sam,
Freeland.
But
A
quick
lot of
question.
that has to go to Kyle Freeland.
How bad is this? How bad does the loss of LeMahieu and Ottavino kill them? Does it come tremendously? A little bit? What?
A little bit. I'm
A
saying
little bit.
I'm saying.
I think they could. I think
Because
they
guys
can
like
win the
out
division.
because he's not gonna like that because he's a Dodgers fan.
I
Screw the
think
Rockies.
they can win the division.
I think Sam's got some very good points. Now,
Wait.
the moment you guys have been waiting
This
for,
should be
because
interesting.
they're like we
Mr.
wanted.
I think the
Baseball
Rockies
They wanted to do me last.
if
So
the
Mr.
Rockies can
Baseball up in
make some
here.
good moves, they can make a
Alright.
deep run.
all right, so let's review your list real quick. You had the Pirates at 5, the Blue Jays at 4, the Reds at 3, the Mets at 2, and the Rockies at 1. You had only one AL team. A little interesting with the top heavy AL because I think the next closest team behind the A's for the last team in the playoffs was like the Rays, and they were like 10 games back.
Yeah.
So, my list. My first team at number 5 is the Tampa Bay Rays.
At number 5?
At number 5, I have the
Oh,
Tampa
boy.
Bay
This
Tampa
is
Bay
interesting.
Rays, and it's because I think for the reasons you said. I think Tyler explained it really well. The guys that the Rays have are definitely going to be legitimate threats. I would have put them higher, but they have the Red Sox and Yankees in their division, which are going to be probably the 2 best teams in the MLB. The Red Sox and Yankees. That's why I put them at 5.
I think the Astros.
My number 4 team is the Seattle Mariners. He's saying no, he's saying yes. Even with the loss of Diaz and Cano, that really hurts them. But, I mean, they still have a lot of good players on that team.
They lost Segura too.
They did lose Segura,
But they got J.P. Crawford back.
It's
That's
not that good. Encarnacion is getting old.
I know. I don't know. I have this feeling about the Mariners.
Mitch Haniger, they have to build their team around him.
I honestly
That's all they
think
have
he's
left.
going to be a good player this year. He's going to be a very solid threat this year.
probably.
Now here are my next 3 teams. My number 3 team, and you guys didn't put him in here, and I was so surprised when you guys didn't put him in here. The Chicago White Sox.
Only for a certain reason.
I would have put them in, but we don't know what's happening yet with Machado and Harper.
That's true, but they still have all.
But there was saying that Machado warmed up the other day in a White Sox hat. That could give you something on that too.
Yeah. I think there's a big possibility they get Machado.
They got
a really young team. They re-signed Abreu, didn't they?
But they lost Garcia.
Yeah, they did.
And Davidson.
They did lose
Davidson,
Garcia and Davidson, but I feel like
And Kopech is out for the year.
I think Kopech is out for the year. But I really think I've seen them play a little bit. I like what this team has. And they're in a very weak division.
Yeah.
A very weak division.
Cleveland, your time is up.
I think with Machado.
Because I think the Indians are going to regress this year. The Indians will still win the division, but they're in a very weak division.
I just want to say the Kluber trade. It makes no sense to me.
What trade? It hasn't come through yet.
It sounds like the Indians are looking to trade Corey Kluber.
I don't know why. I have no idea why.
Or Bauer.
My next team, Sam touched on it, is number 2, the Colorado Rockies. I think it's pretty much for the same reason Sam said. Kyle Freeland is a very... I saw this dude. Dude is a stud. And obviously, they have a bunch of good players on that team. I think Sam explained that very well.
We
Should
haven't
look
even
like
mentioned
a
Arenado
game
yet.
163.
Yeah, we haven't even mentioned Arenado. My last team.
Blackman, too.
My last team. I'll tell you, neither one of these guys had him in their list. Neither one of them had him in their list, and I kind of got me a little upset. Can I get a drum roll, please? The Philadelphia Phillies. What?
That hurts.
The Philadelphia Phillies. I have no idea why neither one of you guys put them in there. They have a very good team. I mean, you can just rattle off some players like
Hoskins.
Hoskins is a
That's what you want to build around.
stud.
I don't
Noah.
think, in my opinion, I don't think they're gonna live up to the hype.
I think they will.
In my opinion, if I'm their GM, I'm not going after Machado, Harper. I'm not going after them.
I feel like
I'm waiting a year and going after Mike Trout.
What?
And bringing him home to Philadelphia.
Okay, here's it. Pardon the. I don't know if you guys ever watched Pardon the Interruption. Mike Wilbon, Tony Kornheiser, love you guys. They had a debate. They said what the Phillies were. They said what the Phillies were thinking about doing is they have like the most cap space in the MLB right now. They have like max cap space.
So do the White Sox. That's what they're too.
They said that's why I put the White Sox on
Yeah.
the list. They said the Phillies have the money where they can get Machado and Harper. Like they have the money where they can get both. I'm not saying they will get both, but they have the money to do it.
Yeah.
But they're saying they might wait and get Trout, and that's not even a guarantee.
Mm-hmm.
I would use your money now.
Yeah.
I would use your money now, and I feel like they're going to. I feel like they're getting at least one. They're getting at least one.
In my opinion, I personally think Harper's a little overrated, and I don't like Machado's
I'd
attitude.
I'd rather have Machado than Harper.
I'd rather have Harper.
I'd rather have Machado.
But
But I mean, back to the Phillies, you got like so many great players
Why
you
would
can
you-
build around. So many great
Touching
players.
back on the Machado thing. If you're the Phillies and you say you want Harper, why? You have Segura. He can hit. He can play defense.
Segura.
Gene Segura, they got him.
He's a shortstop, not a right fielder.
Or no, you
I
give him a
said
second.
touch back if they wanted Machado.
You said if they wanted Harper.
No, I said Machado. If they wanted Machado.
See, you just said Harper again.
I said if they wanted Machado. Use your ears, kid.
All right, it's all right. But I feel like the Phillies are getting Harper and the White Sox are getting Machado. That's why I have them in my list. And I think that'll wrap this video up. I challenge you guys, leave your 5 list in the comments below. It'll be interesting to see what you guys have to say. I will be looking at those. Sam and Tyler will look at those too.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think that'll wrap up this video. Cannot wait until pitchers and catchers report to spring training. Have a great day.
Out the way.